Welcome to Work Hard, Travel Harder, the podcast where speech-language pathologists talk literacy, language, and life on the go.
To SLPs who specialize in dyslexia, love a good suitcase, and believe therapy can happen anywhere. Yes, even in airports.
Whether you're a fellow speechy, a parent, a teacher, or just someone who loves learning and adventure, you're in the right place.
Let's unpack stories, strategies, and a little bit of wanderlust.
Hey guys, I'm Lindsay.
And I'm Kayleigh.
And welcome to our second attempt at our first podcast. We have already filmed this, a little different style, and me and all my editing genius have misplaced it into the cyberweb. Don't know where it is, so take two.
Yes, you guys are missing out. Our first one, we labeled it as just a full blooper reel. So it's probably a good thing for everyone that we are refilming it. So we're a little sad about it, but that's okay. Take two. We're here for it.
So this first podcast, we just kind of talked about how we came to be, how speechology came to be, our journeys as SLPs that led us up to this point.
Yeah. So do you want to start in telling us how long you have been in SLP and how the journey came to be?
Sure. So I have been a speech-language pathologist this is my 10th year, which kind of feels weird. I don't feel like I've been in it a decade. Woof, that one hurts. But yeah, I started out in school thinking that I was going to either work in the NICU or work with adults. I really had zero plans to work with children or work on language at all. But of course, God hears our plans and then laughs and says, just kidding. So started out in a tridisciplinary clinic, was there about a year and a half, and then I started doing travel therapy. So I went up to Alaska, spent a year in the schools, did a couple clinics, and then I ended up at a place called Reading Right Alaska that specializes in dyslexia and really found my passion. So there I did dyslexia, and then I became a certified lactation counselor. Love that too. Came back to Arkansas, worked in the schools, which is where Kayleigh and I met. And pretty much right off the bat, we were like, oh, that's my girl.
I think I told you the first time you came into my office at the primary school, I have a distinct memory of you sitting down in front of me. And it was pretty similar to the Step Brothers movie of did we just become best friends?
We just become best friends.
And I'm pretty sure
you sent me a text. I was literally talking to my mom of hey, I met her before, but we chatted, and I think we could be friends. And then you literally text
Let's
me anytime,
soulmates.
anytime you want to hang out or just go to Walmart, I'm here for it.
I love errands.
Yeah, that's exactly what you said to me. I love girl errands.
So
Yeah.
Yeah. So very thankful that we met in the schools.
Mm-hmm. That's not where you started, though.
No, it is not. So my journey was a little bit different. I went to undergrad school at Brush University in Kentucky. I'm from Kentucky, Western Kentucky. And then I went to grad school at Western Kentucky University. And when I graduated, fun story about my graduation. So I had walked the stage and received my diploma. I had a job lined up already at a nursing home. And then the weekend after, they had messed up on my audit, and so I was short a class. So then I cried. So then I obviously lost a job because I wasn't done graduating yet. So it was a big psych on walking the stage. Had to take another class.
Did you walk again?
No, I did not.
That would be...
No. No. And it was an oral rehab class, so it wasn't...
Oh, it didn't even count?
No. And it was $2,500. It was fun. Yeah. May of 2019 was just really hard.
But 2020 got better.
Yeah. So finished that class in December of 2019, and then I was flown out. At this point in my life, I was looking to move. And so I had applied to jobs in Louisiana, Connecticut, Oklahoma. I was just anywhere that was new. I was I'm gonna just go away. And so I got flown out to Oklahoma, a small hospital, for a job interview in November of 2019, and they hired me on the spot, which was so exciting. But also, I remember calling my dad and stepmom and be like, oh, wait, guys, this is actually really happening.
I actually did just take a job in Oklahoma.
Yeah. So that was kind of a shock to my family. I moved 8 hours away without knowing anybody. Worked at the hospital for 2 years doing your CF, clinical fellowship, in the hospitals during COVID.
Rough.
That was very rough, but a learning experience.
But you said too, like the hospital you were at, like not a lot of. So Tahlequah is like a tiny, that's where I went to grad school. It's kind of weird. It's like a tiny community, but because it's part of Cherokee Nation, they have a lot of like medical services. So they have speech pathology, they have OT, they have optometry. I think they have a med school. Like they have a whole,
Oh, wow.
like, yeah, they have like a whole, like cadavers in a basement for everyone to go like
Haunted house, anyone?
haunted university, anybody? Um, but yeah, so that's where I went to grad school. And so even though you have this university that has a lot of resources for the community, there aren't necessarily a lot of resources out in the community. And I know you said that your hospital was a little tricky navigating during COVID as a CF.
Yeah, it was rough. My supervisor was not at that hospital. She was available through text, but it was just I was the only SLP at that hospital. Um, and then, with COVID, a lot of people had dysphagia, swallowing problems, and we didn't have access to any kind of X-ray or anything. In the trach and vent hospital I attended in undergrad, nope, wrong word, during my grad school experience, my externship. That's
That's
the
the
word.
word.
I had access to a modified barium swallow study anytime I wanted, and boy, did I take advantage of that.
That just is wild to me that like this day and age that every hospital doesn't have modifieds. Like, I don't even know. Maybe some of you who are more in rural hospitals and like have had to do it from scratch your entire careers, how do you like do a really solid clinical swallow eval without at least a modified? Blows my mind. I don't know how.
Yeah, it's a lot of,
Bedside?
yeah, bedside. And honestly, like you kind of, I mean, me personally, and obviously there's some great SLPs out there. And you do like, I feel like you just get the hang of it, but you
Mm-hmm.
learn. I felt so confused as a CF because I was like,
Mm.
you have all this data supporting, like, because you know how they used to say you could do like oscillations or look at their heart rate, which if
Yeah.
you had patients in the MICU or when I had patients in the SICU, it was easier to see. This was at a different hospital. I worked PRN. They had like the monitors, so you could like watch their
Yeah.
vitals, but when it's just like your general floor patient, that's not an option. So
No.
I feel like you are just kind of guessing, and some people cough.
And some people don't.
Yeah.
Silent aspiration. But I guess that's how it was at the SNF that I PRN'd at.
Hmm.
Like we didn't have, but we a lot of times got to go off of their modified to like see what at least was going on. But you do have to do like a lot of clinical and with the trials.
And then I feel like with older people, the medications they're on, a lot of them can just cause like
Yeah.
coughing and postnasal drip and all that stuff.
Or like UTI, if they be UTI,
Mm.
then it just like everything they came in with just crash. But um we did not meet in the hospitals.
No.
We met in the schools.
Yes.
Which is we have both said an area that neither of us went into school thinking we were going to be working
No
at
interest
schools.
in.
No interest in it, but actually really ended up liking that population a lot.
Hmm.
Do you want to talk about schools in Kentucky a bit?
Yeah. So my reason for just avoiding public schools with a 10-foot pole originally when I was in grad school was in Kentucky.
Pause it for a
Do not care.
second.
You've been burned.
I've been burned. We took a small pause to plug in our second camera, and our recording just stopped completely. And Kayleigh just asked, like, can't we just merge them? And I was like, I don't know. We'll see. So this we might have a take 3 coming. Who
You
knows?
know what? We might just leave it. I feel like this could be another good learning experience for people of,
Oh, you
yeah.
think you're going to start a podcast and
Hmm.
it's going to be so fun.
Hmm.
And it partially is.
Yeah. This
This
part's
part,
fun.
this part's really fun.
Yeah.
The editing will bring you to hmm, I don't even know the emotion, to be honest. I don't know the emotion that I felt when I like clicked
I
on.
think you're a psycho. Can I explain why?
Sure.
Okay. Hey, listeners. So I think Lindsay's a psycho, and this is why. Because she did not rage out like I would have. Perhaps I'm the psycho, because she literally tells me how she spent 15 to 20 hours editing this first one because the software is it seems very intimidating to learn how to edit. And a minute ago, we were in there trying to export it to Spotify, and it's just gone. The whole video is gone.
It's like the title is there. You can click on it, and then when you click on it, it's just like a blank file. There's nothing there.
And then this psycho, she takes like a couple of deep breaths, and then she's like, silver lining, no raging out, no flip, no,
I
like,
think at one
I gotta
point,
go get an emotional Coke Zero. No, you're just like, silver lining, that one wasn't very good. Let's do another. So,
well, I did say at one point, I hate this. I feel like I hate this.
yeah, but that was like, it's still so calmly, and you just like move past it so quickly.
Well, at that point, what are you gonna do?
Very
You
true.
know, like, what are you gonna
Glass
do?
half fuller over here.
I try. I try.
Very
I am a
so.
glutton, so come fill her all the way up. But I think we were talking about, Kentucky schools,
Yes.
no cap.
Well, a cap, but not a good
Oh,
cap.
yeah.
So in grad school, you had to do at least one rotation in the schools, and I worked. Actually, some reason I did a couple schools. It was small amounts. Um,
I think you have to. You
is that because after I said that, I was like, wait, I have memory of like two
have to do
elementary
two
schools.
peds and two adult, but one of them has to be a school.
That feels so far away, my
I know.
brain. But yeah, the speech therapists I work with, the Kentucky cap is 65 kids on your caseload, but a lot of the SLPs had like 70, 72. Um, and I just can't imagine managing that many IEPs,
Mm-mm.
evaluations, and
Mm-mm.
referral. Like, no bueno. So I had written off schools, and then I kind of written off early intervention. In my head, I was going to work at a trach and hospital forever. I would retire there. That is all I would ever do. So there was a little bit of irony when I ended up in the
Picked
schools.
up and oh
But
yeah.
in Arkansas, 45 cap.
Yeah.
So if any of you listeners are anywhere else, come to Arkansas. If
Come
you
to
want to work in
Arkansas.
schools.
Or let us know how you deal with like such high caseloads and paperwork and meetings because like which normally we were over 45 always, but not like 70, not like over by that much. Um and even then you feel like you have so little time to like actually implement the therapy because you are doing all the speechy things. You're doing the IEPs and the meetings and the paperwork and progress notes and all that stuff. But then you're also like constantly responding to emails and getting pulled to cover different duties and like
Behaviors.
behaviors. Behaviors. Um School SLPs. How many of you are considered like speech paths in your building considered the behavior people? I think we tried to get away from that.
Yeah, I tried to like
There's
take that hat off and toss it.
yeah.
Because you have so much on your plate as an SLP, and I know anyone in the schools, like everyone feels like they're kind of drowning.
Mm-hmm.
Like paras, teachers, supporting staff. It's pretty intense, and we all do it for the love of the kids. But I think there's so much within our scope as SLPs, um, that we can't wear all the hats.
Yeah. And in our district, it's kind of a smaller, I wouldn't say like a small district, but it was a smaller district. And so I think, especially when it was a small district, SLPs got a lot put on them because we do have a lot of within our scope that we can do. So, like, you can do pragmatics. And I think a lot of times people see pragmatics and they automatically think behavior. And so then behavior kind of got put on our plate. And then, um, yeah, I think because there is a lot of within our scope, and like I said, I fell in love with dyslexia up at a clinic in Alaska called Reading Right Alaska. You had experience with dyslexia from another clinic owner in Kentucky
Who's an SLP?
who's an SLP and kind of took you under her wing. And, absolutely dyslexia is within our scope. And I tried when I first got to the schools back in Arkansas to be like, I'm going to be the dyslexia person, but you can't with the full caseload. And even though it's within our scope, but not practical in the schools.
Yeah, there's just there's no way you could, because you would kind of have to do like the reading intervention in schools on top of your Arctic caseload,
Your language.
and then like your like
Pragmatic.
yeah, and just like the SLE and ALE, the structured learning environment is what our school called it, SLE. ALE was our kiddos who had behaviors that kind of impacted. I cannot remember what the A alternative.
Yeah, alternative
Aha,
behavior learning environment.
that one.
Yep.
And those kiddos needed a lot of our
Support.
support. So it's just a lot.
And then now with inclusion too, so instead of pulling the kids out of class and like taking them in a group of 4 to do therapy, now we're pushing into the classroom, which I think is wonderful from like everyone understanding what the general education curriculum is and what the goal is and being able to support them in that. 3rd through 5th grade math, I got it. I got it, baby.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I mean, 5th grade gets a little sketchy at the end of the year, but like, you're able to go and be like, okay, here's where they need to learn how to follow directions. Here's where they need to know about attributes. It's not, can you touch the red button, then do this. It's like,
Okay, I thought you meant so you know what, that makes sense that you're talking about the speechy goals in math, because
yeah.
in my head I thought you meant like you could like go in.
Oh no, I can.
Oh,
I
okay.
can. You want to know about fractions?
That's what I
I
think,
got you, baby.
because being my building was K through 2. So like the only math I'm exposed to is like we're still kind of using our fingers to maybe add double digits, but most of my kiddos were still on single digits. So I don't think I've worked with a fraction unless I'm like being like, yeah, Mike, I want half that pizza. That's the
Two
only
thirds,
fraction.
please. Yeah, no, in 3rd grade, they're hitting the ground running.
Wow,
But it is neat being able to take your speechy goals and like apply them in a math setting where they like are able to
that's really
use them. Yeah. Um,
yeah. I think we are in a unique place as SLPs because while it's in our scope, there is not a lot of grad schools really teaching dyslexia. And so it's pretty rare for SLPs to kind of specialize in it. And once you do that training, it's so beautiful of how much we can help those kiddos because we have such a good understanding, not only of dyslexia, but also of just like the language component and the neurology of it,
mhm.
and to really help give that intervention.
Yeah. And dyslexia is really cool too because you do have to have training on it. It's kind of like I feel like grad school is really good about saying, here are all the things that you could possibly do as a speech path,
Hmm.
but they're not going to really detail train you in any specialty. They're going to say like if you want to get out and you can specialize in infant feeding, that's absolutely something that you can do. We'll teach you all about dysphagia and the proper swallow and whatever. But if you want to take this avenue, you're going to need additional training. And dyslexia definitely falls under that. Like,
Hmm.
we'll teach you about language, we'll teach you about neurology and language in the brain and all that good stuff. But if you want to specialize, you're going to have to do that outside of grad school. And it's so rewarding because it's not necessarily a new field, but it's a newer field. So they're doing research all the time. And so it's so cool. Like we went to IDA last year, the International Dyslexia Association conference.
So much fun.
Yes, it was so fun. And then we're going again this year. So it like really combines our love of like getting to hear the newest research, getting to just understand therapy, like new therapy techniques, new products and materials that are working, and then also traveling.
And I feel like that's a good segue into what this podcast is about. It's so we started a clinic.
Mhm.
Where
I don't think, did we even say that?
no, but we
We
are
started a
now.
clinic.
Uh, yes, about a year ago, and it was very fast paced. We just kind of jumped in without any research.
Just like 2 feet.
Yes.
I think we had both said like the dream would be to have a clinic, but
Hmm.
actually like doing it.
Yeah, but it all worked out so beautifully. We a little backstory of how the clinic came to be is I feel like we had kind of been like sending out little feelers to each
Mhm.
other for a little bit just to
Yeah.
like see like how serious are you about this.
Yeah.
And then we went to Ivory Bill,
Mhm.
rest in peace. And I feel like that's where we like really kind of laid out the plan, and then days later applied. We went to Doomsday Copy,
Yep.
applied for the LLC,
Yep.
got that, and then a couple of days later put a deposit down on a
Like,
building.
like when she says a couple, she doesn't mean like,
Yeah.
like literally
This was all within like a week.
all within a week. We're like, hey, like, I know we've kind of been, you want to do it? Yeah, let's do it. Made the LLC, made the website, got simple practice. Why? I don't know. We didn't have any clients. Oh, for the website.
Oh yeah, website.
Website.
Mhm.
Yeah, made a did all the things.
Yeah, just
Emailed our
jumped
boss
in.
like, hey, just so you know, we started a clinic.
We don't have a caseload yet,
We
but
don't
it's
have a caseload.
there.
We'll still be there next year, but yeah, and then 2 days after that, we jumped in and signed a lease,
Mhm.
which I think we both said, um, I think it was a God thing we got this place because real estate was popping at that time.
Yes.
I think it was a good thing we had a lease because I think that if we hadn't, I think we would have in the process of credentialing and all the things that are required to being a speech path because a clinic is a little different than just like, hey, I want to sell this product, I'm going to make an LLC and sell this product. There's a lot of paperwork and a lot of credentialing and a lot of red tape that you have to go through, and I think we would have gotten wrapped up in that red tape like a mummy and just said push me off a cliff if it hadn't been for the lease.
Yeah, I think we would have pushed it back and been like, whoa, this is more than I think we're thinking of. Let's push it off a couple years and just try and slowly ease into it.
Mm-hmm.
And then I think when you do that, life always kind of laughs in your face and
Yeah.
just gets more complicated and your goals and dreams can kind of get pushed back.
Well, we actually said, like, before we signed the lease, we were like, I figure that we'll, like, probably get a caseload around spring break. Like,
Mm-hmm.
we had in our heads it was going to roll out
Slow.
slowly. But once you sign a lease and you are making public school money, you got to get that caseload. Like,
Yeah.
you got to get credentialed. You got to start seeing people. And luckily, we did.
Yeah. Very, very grateful for that. The community has been so supportive of us.
Mm-hmm.
And it's been really cool to kind of, make an impact in these kiddos' lives. So that's been very rewarding. So yeah, if we had to do it all again, definitely would.
I would have done it sooner.
Yeah. 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 Challenge accepted.
Challenge accepted. No, I think the timing was perfect. It
Hmm.
was perfect timing.
And we've said before how like I am so happy that we have each other to do this because I never would ever, 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 ever
Mm-mm.
open up a clinic by myself. It would be unmanageable.
Yeah, it would be too intimidating to
Yeah.
like actually get started, which I think is why we hadn't before.
Hmm.
Financially, I think it would feel like a huge risk, like a bigger risk than it was for us separately.
Yeah.
And then just the sheer amount of work. And I know we've talked about how, like, being able to rely on another person and be like, hey, you said you're going to take care of it. That's not a worry I have to have. I
Mhm.
know. Or being like, hey, I have a block and can you possibly take this and I'll take something off your plate because, like, I'm
Yeah.
hung up on this and I can't figure it out. Like, that's really nice too, of like being able to swap.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think so. I think it's been wonderful.
Mm-hmm.
And so, one of the reasons we kind of started this podcast is because we opened up the clinic and also just to kind of, it's fun. We both really love learning new things. We love traveling a lot.
A lot.
So, we're like, hey, we don't have enough on our plate by just being clinic owners.
No.
Let's do a podcast.
Let's do a podcast. So we want to give information about dyslexia because there's not a ton out there, especially
No.
from the speech path perspective. We want to be able to interview other professionals. I know we have lined up.
A pharmacist.
Yep.
Yeah, just to kind of get that perspective and insight on how medications can impact kiddos in the schools and just it's always nice to get other professionals' insights. And so we want to kind of keep getting interviews. And so if you're a listener and you're thinking, hey, I have someone I'm thinking of, or maybe yourself,
Yep.
that you think you would love to come on our podcast,
Love it.
please
Hit
reach
us
out.
up. Yep, absolutely. We have an Instagram, Speechology NWA. We have a Facebook, same name, Speechology NWA. We have a TikTok.
Woo!
No surprise, Speechology NWA. Reach out on any of those platforms. But yeah, if you yourself or you know somebody who is a teacher, an ABA, psychologist, anything that relates to this field, let us know. And then we want to also go to the cities where these professionals live after we interview them, see what their city's like, a day in the life, just
And to kind of share the because we really pride ourselves on evidence-based practice. And so we're always trying to find the most recent and current literature to support, what we're doing at our clinic.
absolutely.
So our next big adventure
Mm-hmm.
is coming this fall. We're going to be going to Atlanta for a couple days. And so we're very excited to share with you guys all the current research and all the stuff we're going to learn. So be sure to also stay tuned for that.
Yeah. So,
Yeah.
get your notebook, pack your bags, come join us.
Yeah. And also go ahead and subscribe,
Oh, yeah.
follow, all those other
things.
things that you
The bell, the heart.
yes, the bell, that heart button.
That heart button right there on those social medias, just go ahead and click them.
Yeah. So come join us on this adventure as we work hard.
Play hard. No, travel harder.
Okay, as Lindsay works hard and play hard, I'm going to be over here working hard and traveling
I'm
harder.
going to have to work hard to edit that out. Let's try it again.
So we would love if you guys would join us on our journey to work hard,
Travel harder.